Hey Sean, this is Keaton Everett with ABC going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk a little bit about your mechanics and kind of look at yourself at a couple key spots. We're going to look at where you are, how you start basically. We're going to look at how you're set up. Just like in batting, you got to make sure that we're setting up in the right position to get started. If we're not starting that right position, if we're not breaking our hands in the right position, it's going to lead to problems down the hill. So we're gonna go and kind of break down, where you're setting up, how you're breaking your hands, how your lower body's working, and just kind of get ourselves in a nice, ready position, and to start our delivery in the most solid position we can. All right, and then we're going to watch and look at and kind of key in on that lower body. We want that lower body, we want those hips doing all the work. We want the hips throwing the ball. The hips are where that velocity comes from. It's where our power comes from. So we got to make sure that we're using that lower half efficiently. And then one of the biggest spots to look at, one of the best spots, is that foot strike. So once that left foot comes up off the ground, and then once that left foot hits the ground, we're going to look at where your body's at. We're going to look at what are your hips doing in relation to your shoulders. We can see if we're opening up early. We can see if we're driving through our hips well. So it's a good spot. So and that's called that foot strike. So we're gonna look at your foot strike position. We're gonna see if your arms are in a healthy spot. Then we're gonna look at how you're releasing the ball. So driving through your legs, getting out front. We're gonna look at a couple of those things. So right off the bat, the biggest thing for you through your motion here. All right, you're doing good at limiting your motion. All right, when you're stepping to the side, you're not moving your body way off to first base or something. You have a nice, easy little turn. All right, your eyes are staying on the target. All right, so that's all good. So we just want to make sure. A lot of times, guys will take their eyes off the target, and then be moving around all over the mound. So you're doing good. All right, so off the bat here, you're getting yourself in a nice solid position. All right, you're getting to a point where we'll get to the highest point of your knee, of your leg lift. All right, looks like it's about right here. All right, so you can see your hips are closed off in a good position. All right, you're staying tall. If we're to draw a box over your head and we kind of go back a little bit, you can see that there's a little bit movement forward, but that's fine. All right, nothing too crazy. You're staying pretty much over that back leg, but the biggest thing is you're not dropping down. A lot of times we'll see guys lift that leg up and drop. So you're staying good. You're staying through that backside really well. All right. Now, at this point in time, so at your highest leg lift, all right, looks like it's about, we'll get right here. All right. Now we're going to watch what your hips are doing, what your legs are doing. Let me draw a better box here. We're going to key in on this part right here. So at this point, we want to try to see our knees start to go down. More importantly, we want to start seeing our hips driving forward. All right, and then we're going to want to see our hands start to break. All right. So at this point here, all right, we'll go back and draw this box here. So as you can see, your hips are starting to go down the mound. That ball comes out. All right, everything's going good. The one thing that we can change here is as you get older, hitters are going to be able to start picking up on this. All right, so you're showing that ball early. All that is if you watch that ball, you can see it drops down past your belt. So with that, to make it more efficient, and you can see that as that ball drops, see how this glove stays back? All right, we want that glove to try to follow that front foot a little bit more. So all that fix is to tuck in your glove and your ball more closer to your belly button, your belt. So just get those hands right there in a nice comfortable position right above your belt, and that's going to get rid of popping that ball out early. It's going to get your break to be a little bit more timed, and you're going to allow that glove to get out front over that front foot a little bit more. All right. So as you're getting down the hill, all right, one of the things that we always like to see are more hip involved. We want to see the hips get farther down the mound, staying closed longer, and you can see that your foot's starting to get outside your hip. That foot's starting to lead, but we want that hip to lead. All right, you can kind of see it kind of hinging open. We want to try to get to a point where that foot doesn't cross your hip until farther down the mountain. So we just want to lead with that hip, drive that hip down there. Maybe now in this position, now that leg's starting to pop out. But we just want to keep those hips closed longer, farther down the mountain for you. All right. Another thing too, going back here to look at your ball path, is you're starting your hand, and you have a really quick path with your arm. So you can see that ball's getting really up on top, and you're getting to a point right here where we're above the shoulder. All right. So you're getting too quick. You're just kind of taking that ball out of that glove and driving it up a little bit too quick, too high. All right. We don't want to ever see this elbow above the shoulder. All right. That strains that shoulder. That puts a lot of stress on that shoulder. And then you can see at foot strike, it looks like it's tough to see if looks like your heel's hitting here. So this looks like foot strike, and this is an injury concern down the road. All right, we don't want to see that elbow up there. We want to try to see that elbow a little bit flatter. All right, there can be a little bit of up, but once it gets above that shoulder, that starts stressing that capsule a little bit. All right, so you're doing pretty good on that front side, keeping it closed. You're getting a good torque going with that lower half. You can kind of see those hips starting to go forward. But just work on not getting that elbow so high. All right, we just, the one thing you can kind of think about and work on is just, more so just think about maybe not trying to get your hand, up above your head too quick. Just kind of work on maybe slowing down the ball out of your hand, out of your glove initially. But just we still want a quick arm, but we just don't want to think about so much about out and up as just think about out and then forward. So just kind of, that's just something to kind of look, and then you can see here at this point, that ball's, that elbow's still really up high, and now you're starting to get a pretty extreme angle, and we don't like to see that a whole lot, because that will kind of get some problems a little bit later down the road. All right. So another thing too, with staying back a little bit longer, is you're getting good torque. All right. The fact that this hip's turning before that shoulder's turning is good. Now if we can just clean up these angles and try to get somewhere a little bit more in here, maybe somewhere back in there, you're going to get a little bit more healthy of a spot. All right. And then through release, as you rotate forward, all right, you can start to see this back foot come up off the ground. All right. And all you're doing here is you're losing power. If you're thinking about punching someone with your legs spread out, are you going to want to punch them with both feet on the ground or with just one? It's just more powerful to have 2 feet on the ground. It's more athletic, and you can drive farther on over that front foot, because you basically, we don't have the actual release point and frame, but you're probably going to be releasing it somewhere here. But you can see that your head, the bill of your hat is just over those heels. Through release, and that back leg kind of collapses, you're kind of almost standing straight up. We want to drive through that back leg even more, so we're here. We don't get such a severe angle, and then we're angled farther out front, so that head, that chest is getting farther out over that front foot a little bit more, and that just picks up, another 6 to 8 inches of release point. You get some more angle on the ball. It's just better for off speed, less strain on your arm. So just try to get to a point where you're finishing and you're getting that chest far out over that front foot. All right, and this is something you can do playing catch with, just working on it. But you can see, watching this front foot, how it stiffens up, which is fine. It's supposed to stiffen up, but you can see how your weight's so far back that this front toe is going to come off the ground, and you kind of pivot on your heel a little bit. All right, and we just want everything to be driving out over that front foot. Staying through those legs over that front foot. So that's just the biggest thing with you. But just watch that arm angle, more legs, more hips, and just stay a little bit farther back and finish on over that front foot, and you'll be good to go. So hopefully you had a great time at camp and you're having a great season. We look forward to seeing you again with ABC.